Issa. I am a human rights defender from Hebron. We are suffering a lot in Hebron from the restrictions on our movement. We have around 20 checkpoints restricting our daily life. So to go from your house to your university, you need to pass checkpoints and moody soldiers. To go to buy candy, to buy biscuits from the shop, you need to pass a checkpoint with a very moody soldiers. Some families here, they pass 2 to 3 checkpoints to go to their home in 200 meters, more than 100 movement barriers, which is restricting our life. To go to the mosque for me is very hard because I need to pass 3 or 4 checkpoints to reach the mosque with a restriction, and all the time you need to be ready to take off your belt, your metal, your anything ringing in your body. And sometimes the soldiers are really try to humiliate you at the checkpoint by making you take off parts of your clothes, sometimes to take off your shoes, shouting, yelling at you. In the last 7 months, they were using numbers for the families. You were a number at the checkpoint, not a character. So freedom of movement is violated. We don't have it at all. We don't have any kind of rights to move from one neighborhood to another whenever we want, whenever we wish. So they just try to make it harder and harder for us to stay and remain here by restricting our movement. The main idea here is to transfer us and to displace the Palestinians from this part of Hebron, to kill the Palestinian identity of this part. All our times almost unique here, and happening a lot that we can't drive here. It's not allowed for the Palestinians to drive in their own streets or to have cars or to walk in certain areas. So the street is closed completely, so I can't use that street to go in and out from my neighborhood and to the mosques and to the to the shops. 1,800 shops closed because of the closure policy. The ambulance has restriction to the Palestinian ambulance needs a special coordination between the army and the Palestinian Red Crescent and Red Cross to bring the ambulance in the Palestinian ambulance, which means that you skip all the emergency cases. On the other hand, the soldiers sometimes detain you for a long time. I was detained many times. My worst experience, the first checkpoint detained me for 3 hours, and the next checkpoint detained me for another 3 hours, because the soldiers are allowed to detain you at the checkpoint for 3 hours without registering that delay or that detention. So they used to do it as kind of revenge from me as a human rights defender, trying to ask for more freedom of movement and more political and human rights for the Palestinians. So freedom of movement here is completely restricted, violated, and even we don't think about it because we are not free. We use the fields to go in and out our centers, our homes. Many families, they use the fields because the main roads are closed. On the other hand, settlers, they have freedom of movement. They drive, they have ambulances, they can go in and out whenever they want. To be a Palestinian for me is to be very kind, very generous, to care about others, and to be, let's say, with dignity, and to fight for your rights and not to give up, and to keep the identity and to keep the history by yourself, and to be very, let's say, loyal to your cause, to be very committed for your olive trees, for your fields, for your own hometown, and for your homeland. So we feel that we are very close to the land, we are very close to the homeland. And to be a Palestinian in the negative part is that you are stereotyped as terrorist, as somebody like to die, as someone who is a threat to the others. On the other hand, we are not like that. We like to live, we like to have fun, we like to be equal with everybody in the world. And Palestinians, they like education a lot. They like to have jobs, they like the family, they like to invite others, they are very social, and like to travel. They like to travel a lot, and we like soccer a lot in Palestine. Palestine, that we love the Canadian people, and we want them to understand what is happening here by visiting and seeing by their eyes firsthand knowledge and information from the field about how Palestinians are occupied, how Palestinians are oppressed, how Palestinians are completely attacked by the Israeli occupation, how we are living without any basic rights, how we are under the Israeli military law, and the settlers who are close by our homes are under the Israeli civilian law. So we have two sets of law here, and we are guilty by law till we prove the opposite. So I want to tell the Canadians that we are together, we can make the change, but we want them to know the truth and put pressure on their government to stop their blind support to Israel and try to put high pressure on the Canadian government to end the occupation. We don't hate Israel. We don't want to destroy Israel. In the contrary, we have many Israeli and Jewish friends, but in the other hand, we don't like the occupation and we want to end the occupation.